The evening before a change often looks ordinary. A kettle clicking off, soft fan noise, a phone screen dimming as your eyes get heavy, and yet something inside you stays quietly awake. You may notice a gentle pressure in the chest or a strange clarity that arrives without a reason. Dr. Daria Glover once described this as the soul's early warning system, calm but unmistakable. One question hangs in the air: why does tomorrow feel like it's watching you? Another question follows: why do small moments suddenly feel meaningful? If calm, truth-seeking stories help you unwind, you'll feel at home here. And tonight, one line will keep pulling you forward. February 23rd, the veil feels thinner. A street light flickers outside your window, and the room feels slightly more spacious than it should. That thin veil feeling isn't about ghosts or drama. It's often your attention sharpening, like your mind's background noise turns down. People notice a tiny behavior shift here. They pause before speaking. They reread a message twice. They suddenly crave clean water instead of snacks. Dr. Daria Glover connects this to sensitivity returning, the kind you had as a child. And there's a quiet sign that usually appears next. You might hear a distant sound more clearly. A train horn, a dog bark, a spoon tapping a cup. When the veil feels thinner, your senses don't become magical, they become honest. Seniors often describe it as, "My mind feels less crowded," and it changes choices in small ways. Less arguing, fewer rushed decisions, more noticing of tone. A historical echo shows up too. In many traditions, turning points begin with listening, not doing. But one specific feeling tends to follow this listening, and it surprises people. In the soft darkness, you may feel a gentle sadness, not heavy, just present. This sadness isn't a warning. It's often release, like a suitcase being set down. A subtle emotional pattern appears. People forgive someone silently, or they stop rehearsing old conversations. Another uncommon detail: your dreams may become simple but vivid, like one object repeating: a key, a lamp, a doorway. That repeated symbol usually points to one area of life, and it quietly sets up the next shift. Dr. Daria Glover's unusual warning sign. You wake and notice your hands resting differently on the blanket, calmer than usual. Dr. Daria Glover's unusual warning sign is not fear. It's a mismatch. Your life looks the same, but your inner agreement changes. People feel it as a polite discomfort, like wearing a shirt that suddenly doesn't fit. A specific behavior shift shows up. You stop multitasking, you dislike gossip, you can't tolerate loud negativity. It feels small, but it points to a bigger line being crossed. A cup of tea tastes slightly different, even if you made it the same way. That's how this sign works. It's not logic, it's taste, your spirit's taste. Another uncommon detail: you may feel irritated by things you used to accept politely, like constant complaining or rushed talking. This isn't you becoming difficult, it's your boundary becoming alive. In history, many awakenings began as a no to what drains the heart. And tomorrow, one part of your day will test that no. You might glance at the clock and feel time move strangely, slower in one moment, faster in another. The sign often arrives with a gentle distortion of pacing, because your nervous system is shifting from survival speed to truth speed. A real-world example: people suddenly tidy one drawer, delete one contact, or return one borrowed item, as if the soul wants clean lines. It sounds ordinary, but it's a spiritual housekeeping instinct. And the next reveal is this: the warning sign usually comes with a hidden gift. Take one slow breath. Feel the air enter like warm light and leave like a soft exhale of dust. Notice your shoulders, notice your jaw. Let both loosen a little. Now imagine tomorrow as a quiet room, not a storm, just a room with one chair and one small lamp. Ask yourself without effort, what part of me is asking for honesty? Don't answer quickly, just let the question rest, because the next part of this story often arrives as a whisper. The dream symbol many dismiss. In sleep, you may see a plain hallway or a door that doesn't open. Many dismiss dream symbols as nonsense, but at turning points, dreams often become simple on purpose. Seniors especially notice one pattern. The dream repeats, but the feeling changes. First anxiety, then curiosity, then calm. Dr. Daria Glover notes that this shift in feeling matters more than the images, because emotions are the language of change. And one particular symbol keeps showing up around these dates. You might dream of shoes, misplaced, too tight, or left at a doorstep. Shoes are rarely about fashion, they're about direction. A specific behavior shift follows this dream. People stop taking calls they don't want. They choose comfort over proving. They walk slower and notice their breath. Another uncommon detail. Old memories surface the next day, especially from ages when you felt unseen. That's the soul checking where you learned to shrink. And right after this symbol appears, a daylight sign often follows. A breeze enters the room, and you suddenly remember something you promised yourself years ago. That's the mechanism. Dreams soften the mind's guard, so truth can rise without argument. A historical echo. Pilgrims in many cultures watched dreams before journeys, not because they were superstitious, but because dreams reveal what the tongue hides. A real example. Someone decides to visit a relative, apologize, or finally rest. These changes look personal, yet they ripple outward, and there's one dream symbol that feels harmless, but it's the strongest clue. Ahead in this video, as we go deeper into why Feb 23 can feel like a hinge in the soul, we'll touch a symbol that appears in dreams and then shows up in real life the very next day, not as a miracle, but as a perfectly timed ordinary event. When that happens, people often realize something startling. They've been guided gently for a long time, and they just started noticing. Why your prayer feels answered differently. The room is quiet, and your words in prayer come slower than usual. When prayers feel answered differently, it's often because the answer isn't a thing. It's a change in your inner posture. People notice a specific shift. They stop begging and start breathing. They stop bargaining and start listening. Another subtle pattern. Your prayer becomes shorter, but more sincere. It's like the soul prefers truth over performance. And tomorrow, many will feel something unusual. Not more words, but more peace. You might reach for your prayer beads, or simply fold your hands and feel warmth in the chest. The mechanism is simple. As stress lowers, your body finally hears your own spirit. A real-world example. Someone prays for guidance and then suddenly feels an urge to forgive or to stop checking the phone in the middle of the night. These are answered prayers in human form. A historical echo. Wise teachers often said the first answer is clarity, and clarity has a strange way of arriving through one small interruption. A notification pops up, but you don't open it right away. That pause is spiritual muscle, and it grows fast around turning points. Another uncommon detail, people report that their inner voice becomes kinder, less accusing. That's not fantasy, it's nervous system healing, which makes room for gentle truth. And when prayer shifts from frantic to honest, you start noticing which relationships are peaceful and which are noisy. The next reveal goes straight into that, because tomorrow often brings a test disguised as comfort, a test disguised as a blessing. A familiar invitation arrives, Sweet words, easy timing, no obvious problem. Tests disguised as blessings usually feel convenient, and that's why they work. The spiritual detail here is subtle. It's not good versus bad. It's true versus draining. People notice a behavior shift. They say yes less quickly. They ask one extra question. They check their energy after talking to someone. Dr. Daria Glover mentions that turning points often arrive through something you wanted, but in the wrong form. You might hear praise and yet feel oddly empty afterward. That emotional pattern is important. True blessings leave you steadier, not smaller. An uncommon detail, some people feel sleepier around false blessings, like their spirit wants to shut down to avoid conflict. A real-world example, an offer that pays well but steals peace, or a reunion that reopens old wounds politely. In history, many elders taught, blessings don't rush you, and tomorrow, the blessing may come with one tiny pressure. A soft pressure in the stomach, just for a moment, then gone. That's your inner compass, not anxiety. The mechanism is simple. Your body remembers what your mind forgets. Another surprising detail, when the test appears, you might suddenly crave something clean, fresh air, a bath, a short walk, a glass of water. It's like the spirit wants to be clear before choosing, and that choice leads into the next reveal. Because once you pass this test, a deeper nudge arrives, the quiet nudge you can't ignore. A spoon clinks in the sink, and you feel a sudden urge to do one small thing you've delayed. The quiet nudge is rarely loud. It's repetitive. People feel it as a gentle now, not a push, more like a steady hand on the back. A specific behavior shift. You stop scrolling, you sit up straighter, you decide to make one call, write one note, or clean one corner. It feels tiny, but it's the soul reclaiming direction. And tomorrow, that nudge often points to one surprising place. You may look at an old photo and feel affection instead of regret. That emotional pattern, regret turning into tenderness, is a sign of integration. An uncommon detail. People start speaking more slowly without trying, and they stop defending themselves so much. That's spiritual maturity showing up in the body. A real-world example. Someone finally sets a gentle boundary with a family member, not with anger, but with calm. Historically, elders called this strength with softness, and softness often reveals a hidden truth next. A quiet thought arrives, and it doesn't argue with you. That's the mechanism. Truth comes without drama. Another detail many miss, the nudge often includes a new dislike for clutter. Not only physical clutter, but emotional clutter, over-explaining, over-promising, overreacting. When this happens, people naturally simplify their day, and they feel lighter. The next reveal is subtle, because as soon as life simplifies, old fear often tries one last polite return. A woman named Mira once told a friend she didn't feel spiritual, she felt tired. On a turning point week, she kept hearing the same gentle idea. Drink water, sit in sunlight for 5 minutes, call your sister. She thought it was silly until she did it and realized her anger dropped like a coat sliding off. Nothing magical happened, except her heart felt safer inside her own body. And when your heart feels safer, the next sign becomes easier to recognize. When old fear loses its grip, a familiar worry tries to rise, but it feels weak, like a song you no longer like. When old fear loses its grip, people expect fireworks, but it's usually quiet. A specific behavior change. You stop rehearsing bad outcomes, you stop checking locks twice, you stop rereading messages, searching for hidden insult. The emotional pattern is surprising. You may still feel fear, but you don't obey it. That's the difference. And tomorrow, many will notice fear doesn't disappear. It changes shape. You might feel your heartbeat once strongly, then settle. The mechanism is nervous system learning. It has learned that you survived the past, so it stops shouting as much. Another uncommon detail, Some people begin to laugh more softly, not out loud, but in the chest, like relief. A real-world example, someone finally drives on a road they avoided, or attends a small gathering without dread. Historically, courage was described as fear with faith beside it, and when faith returns, it calls something new into your life. A small courage appears, like replying kindly, or choosing rest without guilt. That's how fear loosens, through tiny acts repeated. Another detail, as fear weakens, you may feel more honest about what you want, less performative goodness, more simple goodness. Seniors often describe it as, "I can breathe again." And when breathing returns, your mind starts noticing patterns you couldn't see before. The next reveal is about those patterns, because tomorrow, one repeating message may begin knocking. The one thing your spirit refuses. You sit down to do something normal, and your whole body resists gently. The one thing your spirit refuses is often not a sin. It's a slow betrayal of self. A specific shift, people stop forcing social smiles, stop agreeing to draining plans, stop pretending they're fine. The emotional pattern, a quiet irritation, becomes a clean boundary. An uncommon detail. Some people find they cannot lie, even small, polite lies, without feeling heavy afterward. And that heaviness points to one refused thing. A familiar conversation starts, and you don't want to complain like before. The mechanism is inner alignment. When you begin aligning, certain words feel like sand in the mouth. A real example, someone refuses to join in mocking a relative, or refuses to chase a rumor. These are spiritual refusals that protect the heart. A historical echo, many wise communities had speech fasts to restore truth. When your spirit refuses something, it often replaces it with a better hunger. A new hunger rises, for quiet, for clean music, for gentle company, for honest work. That hunger is the replacement gift. Another uncommon detail, you may become sensitive to certain TV shows or loud debates, not because you're weak, but because your spirit is choosing peace. That choice often confuses others, and that's part of the turning point. Because when you refuse what drains you, you start attracting what strengthens you. And the next reveal shows how attraction shifts in the calmest way. A ceiling fan turns slowly, and you notice your body relax only when you imagine saying no. That refusal is often the soul protecting sacred energy, not from danger, but from slow leaking. A specific behavior shift appears. You stop explaining yourself too much. You answer in fewer words. You don't argue to be understood. Another uncommon detail, people suddenly dislike half promises and feel relief choosing clear endings. And once that clarity lands, a new kind of peace arrives next. A sudden peace that signals change. You notice your breathing, and it feels deeper without effort. Sudden peace can be a sign of change, not because everything is solved, but because your soul has accepted a direction. A behavior shift appears. You stop chasing closure. You stop demanding immediate answers. The emotional pattern, peace arrives first, then clarity follows later, like dawn. An uncommon detail, peace may come with tears that don't feel sad, more like washing. And tomorrow, this peace may show itself through one unexpected reaction. A person speaks sharply, and you don't bite back. That's peace in action. The mechanism is simple. When inner safety increases, you don't need to prove yourself. A real-world example. You let someone be wrong about you, and you feel no urge to defend. Historically, elders called this dignity. Another detail, your appetite may change. Less craving for sugar, more craving for simple food. Peace often brings the body back to balance, and when the body balances, one hidden invitation appears. A small opportunity lands, not flashy, just fitting. Peace makes you recognize fit. Another uncommon detail, you may suddenly enjoy a quiet task, folding clothes, watering plants, because your mind is no longer screaming for stimulation. This is spiritual reset in ordinary clothing. And when you can enjoy ordinary moments, you start sensing which choices are aligned and which are noise. The next reveal focuses on that, because tomorrow, discomfort might be the most honest invitation of all. A soft morning breeze brushes the curtains, and your mind doesn't rush to fill the silence. This peace isn't laziness, it's alignment settling into the nervous system. A subtle emotional pattern follows. You feel less interested in winning conversations, more interested in keeping your heart gentle. Another uncommon detail, people stop doom scrolling naturally, as if the spirit refuses crowded noise. A real-world example, you enjoy one simple task without needing praise, and that quiet enjoyment points to what discomfort will reveal next. The hidden invitation inside discomfort. You shift in your chair and feel a tiny ache, a restlessness, a need to move. Discomfort isn't always a problem. Sometimes it's an invitation, a behavior shift. People stop numbing discomfort with constant talking, snacking, or phone checking. Instead, they sit with it for 10 seconds, and in that space, meaning appears. An uncommon emotional pattern. Discomfort often brings a memory, not to punish you, but to show you what you're ready to release. And tomorrow, discomfort may point to one specific theme. You might feel awkward after saying yes too quickly. That awkwardness is wisdom. The mechanism, discomfort, is the body's language for misalignment. A real-world example, agreeing to a family gathering and then feeling drained, or accepting a task and instantly regretting it. Discomfort is not judgment, it's guidance. A historical echo, many spiritual paths use small discomforts, fasting, silence, not to suffer, but to reveal what controls you. And tomorrow's discomfort often reveals one control, a quiet fear of disappointing others, even when it costs you. That's the control discomfort exposes. Another uncommon detail, when you face discomfort kindly, your sleep improves within days because your mind stops wrestling. Seniors often say, "I feel lighter at bedtime." Discomfort handled gently becomes strength. And once you accept this invitation, you begin noticing a very practical spiritual sign. Your body reacts before your mind can explain. That's the next reveal. A small itch of restlessness rises, and you choose to breathe instead of reacting. Discomfort becomes an invitation when you meet it like a guest, not an enemy. A concrete behavior shift shows up. People walk away from draining talks sooner. They sit in sunlight for 5 minutes. They stop rushing to fix everyone. Another uncommon detail, the eyes sting with tears that don't fall, because truth is near. When you accept this invitation calmly, your body begins giving clearer signals next. Your body reacts before you understand. A warm flush rises, or your stomach tightens, then relaxes. The body reacts first because it's faster than thought. A specific behavior change. People start trusting small body messages, taking a break, drinking water, leaving a noisy room. The emotional pattern, you feel off around certain topics and safe around others. An uncommon detail, your throat may feel tight when you are about to say something untrue, even politely. That's the body guarding integrity. And tomorrow, one body sign becomes especially clear. You may feel sleepy after certain conversations. That's a sign many miss. The mechanism, emotional labor, drains the nervous system, and your body tries to shut down to protect you. A real example, talking with someone who always argues, or someone who always needs rescuing. When your body reacts, it's not weakness, it's wisdom. Historically, Elders watched the body, breath, appetite, tension to measure truth. And tomorrow, your body may react positively too, in a way that feels like home. A quiet expansion in the chest when you consider one choice. That expansion is alignment. Another uncommon detail, your feet may feel steadier, your jaw unclenches, your shoulders drop without instruction. The body is saying yes in its own language. When you learn that language, you stop forcing decisions. And then you notice something else. The turning point has a window, not a scary countdown, a mercy window. You hold a glass of water and notice your grip tighten when you think of one person. That's your body speaking in honest pressure and release, like a quiet truth meter. A specific behavior change follows. People start choosing seats that feel safe, avoiding noisy corners, turning volume down, protecting their breath. Another uncommon detail, the belly settles when you tell the truth, even if it's small. That settling becomes guidance, and it prepares you for what dawn will reveal next. What the next dawn reveals, gently, the first light enters, and the world looks clean at the edges. Dawn reveals gently because truth doesn't need violence. A behavior shift. People wake with less urgency and more intention. Another subtle pattern. You remember your dreams more clearly, not as stories, but as feelings. An uncommon detail. You may feel drawn to simple kindness, a message to someone alone, a quiet prayer for a stranger. These are dawn behaviors that signal inner change. And tomorrow's dawn often reveals one final thing. You may notice what you no longer want to carry. The mechanism, dawn resets the mind so you can see your burdens as objects, not identities. A real-world example, someone realizes they've been carrying resentment like a heavy bag, and they're tired of it. A historical echo, many communities began new seasons at dawn rituals because dawn makes release feel natural. And when you release something at dawn, you don't feel empty, you feel spacious. A gentle sense of possibility without forcing a plan. Another uncommon detail, you may feel satisfied with enough for the first time. Enough money for today, enough food, enough attention. That's spiritual wealth showing up quietly. And when enough becomes real, you stop chasing false blessings and you stop obeying old fear. The story doesn't end like a verdict. It fades like morning light. And that's how turning points usually work. The sky begins to pale, and the world feels like it is speaking in softer colors, not demanding anything from you. This is one reason dawn is so powerful at turning points. It reduces mental noise and makes truth feel simple. People notice a very specific behavior shift on mornings like this. They stop reaching for the phone first. They sit up slowly. They drink water before tea. They open a window without thinking. That is not random routine. It is the body choosing clarity before stimulation. Another uncommon emotional pattern follows. You feel less interested in proving your value and more interested in protecting your peace. A real-world example. You decide to postpone a difficult conversation until you feel kind inside. Or you choose to respond later instead of reacting now. The surprising twist is that dawn often reveals what you truly trust, because whatever you do in the first 10 minutes shows what your heart believes about life. The floor is cool under your feet, and you feel present in your body instead of trapped in thoughts. When dawn reveals gently, it often shows you one thing you were carrying that was never truly yours. Someone else's expectations, someone else's worry, someone else's urgency. People notice a subtle emotional pattern. A soft grief rises for the years spent pushing. Then it turns into relief, because now you can stop. A real-world example. You realize you don't need to argue to be respected. You don't need to chase to be loved. You don't need to stay in a conversation that drains you. Another uncommon detail. You feel drawn to small acts of repair. folding a blanket neatly, watering a plant, cleaning one corner, because your spirit wants your space to match your new inner order. The mechanism is spiritual and practical at once. When your environment becomes calmer, your mind follows. And the open loop is this. Once dawn reveals what you're ready to release, it also reveals what you're ready to receive, and that receiving often arrives in a very ordinary disguise. A bird calls once, then twice, and between those sounds you notice a small, almost invisible shift inside your chest. Dawn reveals gently because it doesn't shout, it invites. Many people expect spiritual turning points to feel dramatic, but the rare ones feel like quiet certainty, like a lamp being turned on in a familiar room. Here's an uncommon detail seniors often report. The mind begins sorting memories without pain, almost like your life is being placed back into the right order. You remember an old mistake, but instead of shame, you feel understanding, and that changes your whole day. A concrete behavior shift appears. You become more honest with time. You stop overbooking. You stop promising things just to avoid discomfort. The mechanism is simple. Morning light helps regulate the nervous system, and a regulated nervous system makes wise choices easier. The twist is that the most gentle dawn often reveals the strongest boundary. Not a harsh wall, but a calm, "This is no longer for me." So if tonight feels ordinary on the surface, but strangely honest underneath, let that be okay. Let the kettle click, let the fan hum, let the world keep being the world, while your inner life becomes a little clearer. Tomorrow doesn't have to arrive with fireworks to be real. Sometimes, the most important turning point is simply the moment you stop arguing with what your spirit already knows. And if Feb 23 brings even one small nudge, one soft refusal, one clean breath of peace, treat it like a lantern, not a rule. Walk with it gently and see what the next dawn reveals in you, slowly, kindly, and without hurry.